So welcome back to Experience the Rush. I'm Wes Woodland, and I am so honored today to bring you this episode of Sierra Gold. My guest I've waited a long time for, and then seeing and finally our schedules lined up, I want to introduce Shelly Covert. Is that how you say it?
That's right.
And she is a local Nisenan Indian of Nevada City area. And could you tell us a little bit about the tribe and your history and the beauty of, I think it's so beautiful, your guys' philosophies and cultures.
Absolutely. Homakani, Homo Yabani, Nishinana Mimiwakamni, Lidum Lily, Yapamni. Lidum Lily is my given name.
Okay.
And we are, those of us who are left are the survivors of the gold rush, which, the gold rush was very prosperous for many folks who came out to make their way here in a new land and to find gold. Unfortunately, our side of the gold rush was almost a complete genocide of our people, which is a story that's not told a lot in California. It's a very beautiful culture that remains. It's critically endangered. There are not many of us left, and those of us left who are traditionalists hold on to that culture with both hands.
And can you put a number on how many people are left?
So for our tribal membership, for the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe, we have just went down to 144 members. And that's down from about, 9,000, a very conservative number, back in our territory before the gold rush. Different Nisenan folks down here in Auburn, where we are today.
Yeah, okay.
Total different government, different families, forever. So I'm glad to be down here in Auburn's homeland. It's not my homeland. I'm up the hill a little bit.
Nice. And with those cultures, would they have intermingled, or would they have married, or would they trade, or how would they interact?
Yeah, we did have a lot of trade and intermarriage. There were definite tribal territorial borders because of the trade and the resources. When you get down into Auburn and Lincoln, there was a great salt trade that they guarded very heavily because they sort of had the market on the salt, which was very important to them. We had different trade items and different plants, and healers and meat and a different whole host of resources up the hill that, how California is. It's so diverse.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Very, very diverse. And we utilize our own resources. But yes, there was definitely times of war and peace, even between the two of us and with the Washoe, who are our neighbors off to the side, and the Concow or the Konimkawi folks on the eastern side. Okay. And the Powin that were our neighbors.
How far were the Nisenan spread out, or how would they define their area? And I say it because I'm so curious.
Right, and I love the questions. We've been working really hard with academic people and the elders before they passed on, who remembered that tribal memory of where things were.
Okay.
And the Nisenan itself is a great large territory, all the way down into Sacramento, where it comes up with the Miwok folks.
Okay.
And we didn't necessarily have friendship with the very, very southern Nisenan. We fought with them a lot, and they were very different in culture. But there were 13 different dialects of Nisenan language that were spoken, so there was this great diversity. We've also had this issue of being called Maidu for many, many generations now.
Yeah, that's a popular term down here.
It's a very popular term, and I say it with all respect I identified as Maidu for most of my life until my grandfather raised his finger to me and said, "We're not Maidu, we're Nishinam." And I had never even heard the term before. My Bureau of Indian Affairs card says I'm Maidu and Miwok because my grandmother was Miwok. So coming out from under that label of telling the academics who we are instead of always being told who we are has been sort of been the center of my life's work today.
Yeah.
And once you remind people of that tribal affiliation, everybody knows where they come from. Either you're Konimkawi, you're Machupta, you're Mountain Maidu, or you're Nishinam. And people in that label seem to know who they are and where they belong. It's really quite beautiful, but to scream it out to the public, to say we are the Nisenan people, and that we had a great territory that was divided up amongst different governing groups and different families, different holy people.
Yeah, I really enjoy speaking with you because I'm such a, I guess we're egocentric, and you had mentioned that it wasn't about the person. You're more about all-encompassing, like more a bigger umbrella of everything.
Yeah.
Is there a way, could you put it in better terms than me?
I can try, and I know what you're getting at. We were speaking about the language.
Yeah.
And as we go to language class every Monday, because we don't have any fluent speakers, we were considered an extinct language, but we've had that reclassified to a sleeping language, because there are people who are still speaking and singing songs and telling stories in the language. So it can't be extinct, right?
You're right, right. Well, and you've teed me up into a video that I saw of you singing some songs, and you are gifting some music to the community that's going to be partnered. If you could explain that a little more.
Sure. So within that whole language conversation, before my grandmother passed away, she gifted me the songs that she knew, and so I could remember them and pass them on. And this Sacramento women's choir, Vox Musica, had reached out and wanted to do some of our songs, and it wasn't my place to share our traditional ancient songs, but my grandmother's descendants okayed for her songs to be shared. So they perform in a choral performance these songs that my grandma sang, and then some of the words, as I was saying in the Nisenan language, you find that the human is not always the center of everything, and the language reflects this beauty of place and being part of everything else. And so these songs do reflect that, and some of the things that the elders have said, they've pulled pieces of their words out and put them to music, and it's just really, really quite beautiful. And we're going to be doing that program again on November 3rd at Nisenan Heritage Day up in Sierra College Grass Valley campus.
And then for people to find you or find out more information, is that kind of a Facebook thing, or is there a place that people can look that up to buy tickets? Or
you can do it on Facebook. You can follow our nonprofit page, which is California Heritage Indigenous Research Project, or CHIRP. And you can follow that Facebook page where we're doing all of our shout outs to the community, because we're also starting this re-recognition campaign for the tribe. That's a whole nother topic I don't think we can get into in this 7 minutes.
No, but I would love to have you back, and we can go talk about that as well.
But you can also go to nisenan.org, Nisenan.org, which has both a link to our tribal webpage and to our nonprofit webpage. And both places will be having the information for Nisenan Heritage Day, our art event, and this awesome choral production.
Well, I want to thank Shelly so much for coming down and visiting us. That's going to do it for Sierra Gold for today. I'm Wes Woodland. We're always on first and third Saturdays with Experience the Rush. I want to thank Renee Berg for having us a part of her amazing show, and off to commercial break now. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay, let me hit pause.